Hello. I bought a MTD Snowblower. It's a two-stage model last year. We had a really nasty winter here, and after the first big storm I just ordered one, factory direct. I was looking at the same model from Sears. There's a Tractor Supply has the identical model. Most of the consumer models you buy are all made by MTD Power Equipment or one of their subsidiary companies. What I want to do is I want to explain to you how it works. I read a bunch of reviews before I bought it that said it keeps breaking shear pins and things. It's underpowered. That's just a bunch of bull by consumers that are disappointed because they didn't buy a bigger model. I think it's a very well suited model. It's around 5 horsepower. I think the cubic centimeters on it is 179. I don't know exactly what the displacement is of that or the horsepower. But it's made by a generic version of the Tecumseh engine. It's on the same platform. It's a little cheaper model. I think the total cost of the machine was, I don't know, I think $600 from what I see advertised. But I took this out of the box. It comes shipped from the factory. It's full of engine oil, so I didn't even have to fill it full of engine oil. I poured gas in it, and about 2 or 3 pulls on a rope, and it started right up. I've taken it out. I put probably 10 or 12 hours on it in the past year. I've taken it out in cold snow. It does really well in 6 inches of fresh snow, as long as it's not real wet and slushy. I've taken it out. It'll throw sleet, but not very good. It really bogs the engine down when it's slushy, and if it's too wet, it gets the transmission wet and the drive wheel stops. So you have to let it sit and dry for about 5 minutes. But that's only because you're pushing wet snow, liquid snow. It kind of clogs up the chute, but it's not designed for that anyway. I've been reading reviews on this for about an hour or so, and I see a bunch of consumer comments that say it's underpowered. It doesn't do a good job. They're not satisfied. And I think that's just because people expect a commercial machine at a very low price. My opinion is the machine has excellent features. It does a very good job for the amount of money I paid for it. I live in a mobile home park, and they're not good about scraping the road, and I take it down there and clear a bunch of snow off the road. I can work it very hard for about an hour on about a quart of gas, which is very cheap to run. Usually I go down there and shovel for 2 or 3 hours, and this machine will do in 10 minutes what it takes me 2 or 3 hours to do with a shovel. Even when they scraped the road and the plow come through and left it knee deep, about 3 foot wide, it just took a few minutes to move that hard packed snow away. I never broke a shear pin. I picked up gravel and things and slung through it. I've never run any ice through it. But I read some reviews where people said the chute cracked, and I think they're just abusing the machine. It's not. There's no reason for the chute to crack if you're just pushing snow through it. But if you're slinging a bunch of gravel through it and ice chunks, then of course it's going to cause some harm. In my opinion, that's a very good machine for a consumer. If you're like some kind of landscaping contractor or go around town doing people's driveways, then you're going to need to buy a more expensive machine. You're going to need to spend at least $1,000 on one to get a decent machine that's going to hold up to commercial abuse. But for my intended purpose, I put it through snow up to my knee, about as deep as the thing could handle, and you just have to bump the wheels and keep feeding the snow through it. It's not going to plow through it as fast as you can walk. But 6 inches deep, it'll handle the snow in second gear, no problem. Just walking along. I put tire chains on mine because I think it made a big difference. My daddy has one. He's had it since maybe 15 years. Then he don't have tire chains on his, and it'll just sit and spin out. So I went ahead and bought some tire chains and put on it, and I also wear ice cleats on my shoes. They're called boot chains. They have a rubber band on them. You just stretch them over the soles of your shoes, and that way when you're out walking around or trying to back it up, you don't slip and fall on your behind. That's a very good tip to have. Is just, I think those is $20 per set of those. I bought them somewhere on eBay or out of a sporting goods store from North Dakota, I think. What I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a couple of pictures of the machine. Maybe a little video clip of some of the work I've done. I don't really have a video of the machine in action, but I have a couple of still images that I may be able to use in the video. We'll just have to see. Thanks for your time, and disregard some of the negative stuff you read about these machines, because it's just from dissatisfied people that expected more than what they was actually buying. One more thing I wanted to add is I run gas stabilizer in my snowblower. I run synthetic oil in it because it's a hard working engine, and that cuts down on the wear. Makes it a little easier to start. It's just overall a better way to take care of your equipment. It says to run 5W30, and this year I'm running a 30 weight synthetic in it. Because it really doesn't never get cold enough here that it's not going to start. There's also a electric starter on it. I had to use it one time to get it started this spring. I was having a little difficulty to get it to start after it sit all winter. I think maybe it had a little trash in the carburetor because the spark plug was all wet in it. But as soon as it cranked up, it blew out a little smoke, and it was chugging for about a minute, and then it seemed to be fine. I had it out working in the sleet, and it was running a little rough. And I put a little bit of Marvel's mystery oil in the gas tank, and then it cleared right up. Maybe that's a fluke thing. Maybe it just had a little bad gas in it. I don't know. But it's working fine now. No road maintenance today. That's the machine. I think I've been out here a couple hours. A little bit of energy from the sun makes a big difference. They haven't cleaned that road, and it's messy. Going down the hill further, it's just icy.